So it's been a couple of weeks since the last time that I talked to the camera, and also when I stained the floors in the sunroom, but there's been a lot of progress off camera behind the scenes. We have done everything needed to get us to the point where we are at today, which is we're going to be installing our walls and our ceiling. Since the last time I recorded, we did everything from sand the barge board on the wall that we plan on keeping exposed. We've insulated the ceiling. We put blocking on the ceiling just to have, a pretty seamless installation of the ceiling. We have done the electrical. We've done so much, so much. And I'm so excited because yesterday we went ahead and purchased all of the beadboard that we need. And I actually started painting some of the panels so that today, when Tyler's parents get here, they're on their way now. When they get here, we can hit the ground running and we'll have already primed and painted ceiling panels to go ahead and install, so we could just hit the ground running. It's so exciting because I feel like with anything, like, we worked super hard to get to this point. It's going to be so fruitful to like finally step in the room and there's a wall and a ceiling and a floor. The electrical's in, so like we're really getting to the point where we're so close to being done with this room, and I'm so excited about it. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Hello everybody, it's a new day, and yesterday was really tough. So yesterday my parents came over and they assisted us with installing the ceiling on the sunroom. So you can see from all of this footage that the ceiling that we ended up going with was actually beadboard paneling, very similar to what we did in the sunroom. And we had painted it like this very ambiguous color. It's kind of like a green, kind of like a blue, sometimes a gray, depending on how you look at it. It's a very interesting color, and Lane and I are still trying to figure out how we feel about it. But for right now, the panels are up on the ceiling and they are painted a color. It's very nice to finally have this weight off of my shoulders. It's like, gosh, this ceiling has really been weighing on me for a long time, figuratively and literally. Like, it was pretty heavy to put up there. But it's just been weighing on me for so long that we had all of this work ahead of us, and we just had to get it up there. But Lane and I couldn't do it ourselves. It was just way too heavy for her, and also she was not quite tall enough on top of the ladder to get it up there. So I'm very thankful that we had help. But now that the ceiling is up, we actually need to get all of the walls dried in now too. So let me show you what the walls look like right now. Okay, so this is what the walls look like now. So you can see that the studs are still visible and insulation is still visible. The roof is done, but the walls don't need something on them. All three walls, except for the one with the barge board on it. We're not going to put anything on that wall. It'll leave it kind of rustic looking. But the part that I want to try to tackle today is the area under these windows. So these are kind of small sections with a good bit of cuts required because you need to cut around all the outlets. But I think that I can definitely handle it myself. While Lana is inside doing something else. So I'm going to go ahead and try to tackle that today. And just to kind of prep myself, I did some prep work off camera. So I went ahead and with tape marked out where all of the studs are, just so that I know where they are, because I won't be able to see what's happening once I put the beadboard on. So I guess I'll start cutting stuff to size and start getting it installed. So this wall's not straight. I don't know why this is a surprise to me, because like nothing's straight. I mean, I tried my best whenever we constructed all of this to like make it as straight as possible, but like it's just not straight. That's just how it is. So I'm gonna have to make some alterations. This cut's still salvageable. Thankfully, I didn't waste a piece of wood, but it's just like, what the heck, man? This is, the funny thing about this is that this is probably the straightest our house is gonna be. Because this room, you know, was built with that in mind. It wasn't just built all willy-nilly like the rest of our house, where it's just like, oh yeah, we needed to fit something here. In this case, we actually built all of this for this intended purpose, so it's a little frustrating because I thought that this would be straight, but I'll make it work. This is better.
Hello everyone, it's been a couple of days since we installed the ceiling, and since then we have hit pause on continuing to install more beadboard just because we were waiting on a saw blade to come in that we ordered that we needed to make some cuts. But yeah, Tyler went ahead and started to put the beadboard under the windows, under our little windowsill ledge that we have. And during that time that we've been waiting, we also realized that we should probably install the trim around the clerestory windows and door ways. So the reason for that is because, actually, this is here. We realized that we need to put it in first because if we installed the beadboard first, there'd be a gap. Like if we put this on top, there'd be a gap because we didn't build the door frame out thick enough. So to avoid that, we're just gonna go ahead and install the trim and then put the wall next to it so there is no gap. And I think that'll solve the problem. But yeah, we feel like, I mean, after that, we just have some trim pieces we need to put on the ceiling, add some baseboards, and we'll be done in here. It's going to be so exciting. We're so excited to move in, especially with not having heat and how many windows are in here, and we plan on putting a fan. I just feel like it's going to feel so nice. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started.
Okay, and with that last piece of trim, we are now done for the day. It's been a long day. It feels like every day is long whenever we work on this house, but it has been a very, very long day of us putting up trim. This took a very long time. There were a lot of very intricate and very detailed cuts that we had to get right. So it took a while, but I'm really happy to finally be over this hump so that we can now put the walls up and be one step closer to having a finished room. So I think that I'm probably going to go ahead and just take a break and relax for the rest of the night because it's just been so long, but I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hello everyone. So it's a new day. It's actually not the day after our last footage. I actually got sidetracked yesterday and worked on a bunch of different projects, but now I'm returning to our walls after what feels like a little bit of a hiatus since we did the trim last. So my goal today is to try to get the remaining two walls completely covered and then potentially start working on some of the trim for the ceiling so that we can start moving stuff into the space because we're nearing completion. Everything is functional and everything is so close to being done, but we just have some last finishing touches to do. And I'm hoping that this won't be too hard. So essentially what I'm going to work on today is putting beadboard panels on the remaining two walls, and these are going to be a little too tricky. These are going to be a little tricky because I'm going to have some kind of complex triangular cuts that I'm going to have to make on this wall behind me with the window. And then the other wall should be fairly straightforward, and we'll just see how it goes. So I think that I can start with my first piece because this one should be super simple, and then the rest I'll have to think a lot more about. So let's get started.